move to the next slide. Let's get started. And before we start, we always do an acknowledgement of country. So on behalf of those present, I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we now meet. I pay my respects to the elders, past and present, and to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of Australia. I also pay my respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of Australia and hope that the path towards reconciliation continues to be shared and embraced. All right, so our team, so most of you have met Luana, have engaged with Luana, and we've got, Luana's the awards manager, and we've got Daniele Patterson as the awards coordinator. Just to let you know that Luana at the end of May has accepted a new position as a social media content a director or manager, I should say, with Collart. And so she'll be finishing up soon, and we're currently looking for a replacement. So hopefully we'll have a replacement by the time Luana finishes up. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Luana for all the work that she has done, how she's shaped the awards this year. She pretty much ran the show with support of Danny, and they've done a great job. And we will continue to maintain the quality of our services going forward, even though we'll be looking for a replacement, which will be very hard to find. But we have got someone in mind, but just yet to sign the deal. So thank you, Luana. So make sure you shine. This might be, one of your final presentations for the awards team. To cover what we're covering today, Luana will hit off the session and talk through some of the key changes that we've made in 2024. I'll talk through the award categories and subcategories and the criteria. Not much has changed there, so hopefully it's just repeating stuff that you've heard before. But if you're new, this will be the first time you would hear it. Talk a little bit around the nomination and the assessment process, and then I'll pass it back to Luana to talk through the key dates and your responsibilities and some of the support resources that we have to help academics wishing to apply for an award. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. Okay, next slide, please. Danny, so I'm going to pass it over to Luana now to talk through some of the key changes. So over to you, Luana.
Thanks very much, Ange. And as you can hear from my voice, I've lost my voice. It's coming back, so I do apologise if it's a little bit light on. I will try and speak as clearly as I can. So some key changes this year include a new awards portal, which we're rolling out, which is very exciting. It's with the SurveyMonkey Apply software, and it will provide a much more user-friendly experience and an efficient nomination and assessment process. PDF nomination forms will no longer be submitted. We have provided sample nomination forms so that you can gather the data required from your nominees, but then you will just need to enter that data into the awards portal in just the one nomination process, so it makes it much easier. There are also updated nomination templates this year with all the right formatting, and these are just used as a guide. They're not mandatory. I'll talk to those a bit more, but we have got a lot of good feedback from these templates, so it's up to the nominees if they would like to use them or not. This year, the program awards are also open to both individual and team nominations. Previously, it was only team nominations. So Universities Australia has outlined that it's to both this year. And for the video component of the teaching awards, we usually request a YouTube link to be uploaded or included in the submission, but now we are requesting the actual video file to be uploaded in the awards portal. So this is a request because Universities Australia would like to have the video file for promotional purposes if the nominee does receive an award, and this saves a lot of back and forth for when we do need the file when the nominee wins. So that's going to be much easier. It will take a few minutes to upload a video file sometimes. It's MP4 or .mov file, but it will be much easier in the long run. So
can I Luana, can I just stress that we are moving away from Spark Plus this year?
Right.
And we are trialling our SurveyMonkey, a new software, SurveyMonkey Apply. And you don't have to submit Remember, we used to submit a form. There was a 2-step process for the nomination, submit who would like to apply and then their full submission. We're moving away for that. So we're going to try. So please be patient with us. We're hoping that this system is going to run smoothly and there'll be no errors. But whenever we try an new IT system, there might be always some tweaks. So hoping that you can be patient with us, but the girls will be here to support you the whole way through. Back to you, Luana.
Thank you, Ange. Go to the next slide, Danny, please. So just a bit more on the awards portal. As Ange said, we're moving away from Spark Plus. So it's going to be much more streamlined. Some ICOs may remember there used to be account IDs and waiting on passwords and things. Now it's just as simple as receiving an invitation to join and you just register yourself. So it will be very streamlined. The awards team will be on hand, on standby for support. And we also have online support with the SurveyMonkey team. So things are resolved very quickly. As I said, sample nomination forms are there to gather the data, but it will all be entered through the one process. It's very intuitive. We will also provide a session closer to the nomination period in August with all ICOs and recording this session as well to make sure that if there are any questions, we'll just go through the step-by-step instructions. We'll also provide a how-to video explaining how to sign up and submit the nominations. And there's also an option which we found really beneficial for collaborators. So you can easily add other admin staff that might be helping you in your team to gather nominations, and they can enter data with you. So it's a very easy option there. The other thing is the ICO will need to confirm that privacy and disclosure statements have been agreed to by the nominee, the head of school, and the DVCA or equivalent. And that's all in the sample nomination form. So if there are any questions around that, feel free to email us or call us. It's all the same process as previous years and the same requirements. It's just that it's all through this different awards portal. And that's it for me right now.
Sorry, Luana. Can I just ask, will there be a walk through the awards portal? I think that might be of help too. I know you've got videos, but it might be good to do a walkthrough with the ICOs.
Yes,
when that time comes.
Yeah, definitely. So closer to the nomination date in August, I think 12th of August, nominations opened. So maybe the first week of August or end of July, there will be a session with ICOs walking through the awards portal. So it's fresh in your minds, because if we do it now, a couple months later, you might forget. And in addition to that, there will be a how-to video explaining how to do it. So yeah, should be well supported.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Lou.
Thanks.
So the award categories haven't changed. They've remained the same. So we've got 3 award categories. Citations for outstanding contributions to student learning. That's always been our really popular award category. We get, close to 100 submissions across the 40 or so universities. And so academics would select one of the following disciplines. So if they're in, physical, natural or physical science, agriculture, environmental and related studies, it's one discipline area, or engineering, IT, architecture and building, health, education, business management, commerce, society and culture, creative arts, or could be multidisciplinary. We are moving into many degrees, sort of cutting across different disciplines, yeah? So we've got a multidisciplinary category. And then they select one of the nomination categories. So are they an early career academic educator? Are they applying for the Neville Bonner Indigenous Education? Are they a sessional staff or none of the above? Yeah, so that means, tenured academic, not early career, not applying for Indigenous and not sessional staff. So citations for outstanding contributions for student learning. Then we have the awards for teaching excellence. We have a lot less nominees in that category. We'd really like to make sure we've got nominees across each of the discipline areas. Sometimes we have very few in some of the discipline areas, so we would like to make sure that we've got, you know, good representation across the different universities. We've even had some universities that didn't even submit any nominations, I believe. So we really want to make sure that we're cutting across all of our universities. Again, similar nomination categories that could either apply as an early career person, and for the Neville Bonner Award for Indigenous Education, or neither of those. And then we have the programs that enhance, awards for programs that enhance learning. So these programs, they've got slightly different categories, so they're not discipline based. The categories are supporting the student experience, that supports diversity and inclusive practices, collaboration educational partnerships. So you might have a partnership with overseas or with industry, curriculum transformation and innovative pedagogy, or work integrated learning programs that value and enhance student employability. And these programs could be across a whole institution, across a college or a faculty or a school or a department, or in a specific discipline. And we usually see, you know, perhaps members from the CULT, which is the Council of the Advancement of, you know, University Learning and Teaching Leaders, or Leaders in Learning and Teaching, usually apply for more of the programs, things that span across multiple disciplines or faculties, or across the university, that you know, might apply. These awards might apply to those sorts of groups of people that might be more in a central unit, or part of a hub within a college or a school, but not necessarily. Yeah. Over to the next slide, Danny. All right, so once they've chosen which award category they're going to go in, and they've decided on the discipline, and they've decided whether an early career or applying for the Neville Bonner, then they have to select which category they're going to apply for their award. So is it around the approaches to improve student learning? Is it around the development of curricula? Is it around effective assessment? I imagine we'd see a big uptake in assessment this year, given, you know, generative AI coming on board, and how people are adapting and changing their assessment because of that. And innovation and leadership. So they're the subcategories. They're the same across citations and teaching awards. And then they've got, they have to address criteria, the 4 criteria that they need to address. So how has it positively impacted the student's learning or the student experience? Have they gained recognition by others across the sector, across their discipline? Has that innovation that they've nominated, how is it showing creativity or innovation, and does it draw on or build on sort of the scholarly literature that's all there? And then they've got to complete a number of forms in order to apply for the award. So there's a nomination form. They've got to state all their claims against the assessment criteria, and they've got 4 pages to do that. They'll have if they're working with a team, they'll have a team statement listing all their team members and what school or department they're from. They'll need 2 reference letters and a digital photo. Similar sort of thing for the teaching awards, a couple of extra bits for the documentation, in that they can provide a CV and other supporting materials. Yeah. And similar sort of assessment criteria for the program awards, and very similar documentation required. But you can step into that and look into that a bit more further, and reach out to the awards team if you need to, you know, get clarity in any of those areas. Which category had the video requirement, please? I think it was the teaching awards definitely need the video requirement, and assessment criteria. So once the academic or the educator has chosen the award category, and they know their discipline, they know if they're going in as for a Neville Bonner Award, or if they're applying for an early career, then they have to make sure that they address the assessment criteria. Yeah. So how has it impacted the student learning, or the student engagement, or the student experience, over a sustained period of time. So we want to see a high level sustained performance. Have they received recognition? The usual progression is we see academics being recognised within their school, within their faculty of college, or the university, and then a national award. That's usually the progression we see. That sometimes it doesn't happen, but that's usually the case. And that means, you know, they've had several years to refine their application, to get feedback, and it's also for us to know that, hey, this person is well regarded within their own institution. So, you know, it gives us confidence that they can receive national recognition as well. They've got to show creativity and imagination and innovation. So that's usually looking at what others have done and sort of how is their practice distinctive from what's happened in the past. Is it a similar practice but put in a different context, or is it something completely new? And then drawing on the literature that talks about something that similar to what they've done and how they've gathered their evidence and the impact it's had on the students. Okay, next slide, please. So nomination process and key dates. So we've already started. This is our first briefing session, or our first PD session. So we'll have a series of these from May to July. The girls have released the guidelines, so please look through them, and if you've got questions, feel free to ask them today at the end of the session, or, you know, reach out to us anytime. Then in August, that's when the submission nomination process starts. So hopefully our portal is up and running, fully functional, without any glitches. It's a smooth, easy to use system. Otherwise, you know, you'll see us all age between August to September to make sure that this works. But I've got full confidence that the girls are thoroughly testing it, and hopefully it'll be a better experience going forward. And then October to December, we do our 3-stage assessment, just how we used to do it in the past. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then in February, we announce the recipients. And this year they had a lovely reception prior to the Universities Australia conference, where they announced, you know, the three winners, which I showed you in the photograph at the start of the session: the Neville Bonner recipient, the Australian Teaching Award for the year, and the recipient for the Career Achievement Award. Okay, next slide, please, Danny. Okay, our assessment process. Our assessment process is divided up into 3 stages. So the first stage, just like in the past, we screen a number of assessors. So we have a number of assessors, and each assessor reviews the submission on their own individually. So they write down their thoughts through the system, the new system that we have, and they give them an individual assessment. Each assessor will belong to a group. That group will look at the same set of submissions, and they will come together after they've completed their individual assessment to moderate their assessment. So they'll talk with members within their team, and they'll need to reach a collaborative assessment and go through a process of perhaps ranking the applicants and deciding, you know, which is the strongest to the weakest, and also collect the feedback, which we then use to give back to the applicants. Then we decide from there, you know, the submissions that will rank the most highly go over to the awards committee. In fact, I think we give the awards committee all of the submissions, but we do ask them to look at, are these people really worthy of a national award in their category? And those awards committees are chaired usually by DVCA. So we've got David Sadler has agreed to continue chairing the awards. Elizabeth, and I've forgotten, Johnson from Deakin is chairing the citations, and we've got Pip Patterson who's chairing, I think, is she doing the awards, and David's doing the programs, I think.
Correct.
And we've got Sally Kiff doing the Career Achievement Award. And they each have their own sort of committee, which they work through all the awards. So it's a pretty thorough process. And we want to make it thorough because that's what gives, it's not a popularity test. It's more like when you submit a paper to a journal and you go through that thorough review and you give the writer some feedback. We want to make it a thorough process so people feel like they've been assessed with leaders in the field and against their from their peers as well. And there's also a bit of a strategic way that we assign assessors, we assign nominations to assessors. So no assessor will be assessing application from their institution. So we'd be very careful, to make sure that it's very, ethical in the way that we are running these assessments too. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, so what we've got here is the assessment matrix. So the assessment criteria, which I've already mentioned, the 4 different assessment criteria. And so this is what we give our assessors to help guide them through assessing the applications. And we go through a bit of a workshop session with them. So they can either assess the applicant as not recommended, or it needs further improvement, or it's recommended, or it's highly recommended. So I won't read through all of that. There's a lot of information there. These slides will be shared and you can look through that as well. And we have an assessment matrix for citations, teaching and program awards. And if you go to the next slide, we've got the assessment matrix for the Neville Bonner Award. And with the Neville Bonner Award, it's really about ensuring that, Danny, the slide hasn't transitioned. Here we go. Now it's transition. Thanks, Danny. So with the Neville Bonner Award, it's really about that if they are getting recognition from their colleagues, that they are including sort of Indigenous communities and elders where relevant, and also when they draw on the scholarly literature, that they draw on the literature that includes Indigenous teachings and learnings to inform their initiative. So they're sort of the key things with the Neville Bonner Award. And yes, and we have been working with an past Indigenous recipient to help us craft this assessment matrix. So that's been really helpful.
So ICO roles and responsibilities, it remains the same as previous years, but just for a refresher. So ICOs are the central point of contact for the AAUT program for your institution. So any questions your nominees may have, they should go through you and then feed through to us. So we usually, if nominees do reach out to us, we do respond, obviously, but we'll CC you on those emails, so you're just in the loop and you're aware of what's going on, and if there's any nominees that you're not aware of that are interested. Access to the awards portal and uploading your institution's nominations. So that's all up to ICOs to do that. So like I said, though, you can invite collaborators within your institution to assist, which is great. We disseminate all AAUT related news to you for your institution and nominees. So we trust that you will circulate information. There's also a monthly newsletter that anyone can sign up to. It's on our website and on the UA website. If you need assistance with that, let me know. I can send you the link. But we usually will just directly email ICOs with the news for circulation and updates. And we also ask that the ICOs promote the AAUT within your institution to recruit nominees and really encourage them to use the resources and to attend PD sessions or watch them, which are all available on the UA webpage. Next slide, please. We also have a mentor scheme. So this has been going for a few years now, and it's very useful because it includes previous award recipients. So they can really offer invaluable insights in how to structure your nomination, what evidence to include to really comprehensively address each of the criteria. So we have 3 new mentors from 2023, including the Australian Teacher of the Year, Zala Volcic, Neville Bonner Award winner, Kerry Bodle, and Teaching Award recipient, Sarah Creswell. So I encourage you you to prompt your nominees to have a look at their profiles. All they have to do is send them an email, reach out. It will depend on each mentor's availability and workload. So it's a first in, best dressed situation. But we do want more nominees to utilise this invaluable resource. So please encourage your nominees and promote that within your institution. It's on the AAUT network website, but there's also a link on the UA website. If you need any assistance, please let us know. And other helpful resources that we've updated for this year's program is a document of nomination writing tips from assessors. So these tips are pulled from feedback letters and also from the assessor surveys that we collect each year after the assessment period. So they're really useful for nominees to include in their nomination. And then examples of effective evidence. Now, these are recommended by assessors, and we also go through and look for really good nominations and really good forms of evidence used to address criteria. We take away any identifying data, but we include a few brief points as to why the evidence is useful. So that's a really good document for nominees to have a look at as well. Writing tips for Neville Bonner nominations. So this was produced by a previous Neville Bonner Award recipient and also the presenter who will be leading the PD session about Neville Bonner Award nominations. So that's Professor Susan Page. So she helped create this document, and it's really valuable information specific to the Neville Bonner Awards. And then we also have nomination templates, which I touched on earlier. So these nomination templates are just a guide. They're structured in the correct formatting, and for each award type, it will clearly say what criteria needs to be addressed with subheadings and headings. And based on ICO and assessor feedback, we've had a lot of positive feedback, especially from assessors, because they can easily identify where the criteria responses are and they're explicitly addressed. So if your nominee doesn't want to use it at all or prefers using a narrative response, that's fine, as long as they're clear that they provide an explicit heading, maybe something that structures it really clearly, so assessors can easily say, oh, yep, that's criteria A addressed. And it might not be in the right order, A, B, C, D, but at least it's very clear. So it's an optional resource there for you as well. We have upcoming PD sessions over the next couple of months. So today is our first one. Tomorrow will be the Teaching Award nomination, and then over May and June we have a PD session for each award type and subcategory. And as I mentioned before, we're going to have an ICO briefing about the awards portal closer to the nomination period. All of these PD sessions are recorded, and then we will circulate them with ICOs and put them on our AAUT website and YouTube channel, so it's easily accessible for everyone if you can't make it.
So I just wanted to reiterate, because I saw this question come up a few times, is, does everyone need to submit a video, and which award types require video? So just wanted to make it really clear, only for the teaching award, not the citation, not the programs. And what about the career award, Luana? I know we haven't mentioned it here because it's sort of a little bit separate, but do the Career Achievement Award, I can't remember what we agreed with Universities Australia.
Yeah, so for the Career Achievement Award, because it is resource intensive to create a video, originally we did ask for nominees to submit one, but then we received some feedback that it's a lot of
too much work,
time to do it. So if the nominee wins, then we will ask the institution to create a video.
Yeah, okay. So only teaching awards. So three categories, not citations, not programs, only. So hopefully, and we'll, as Luana said, we'll put these questions down. There's another question by Shannon Johnston. For non-disciplinary awards, e.g. university preparation programs, What do they select? So that's a program. So under the program criteria, you don't actually select which discipline, you select the scope. Is it a university program? Is it a college level program? Is it a school-based program? So you don't have to select which discipline. Yeah. So hopefully that answers that question. Freya asked a question for the sessional staff tick box. Is there context taken into account during the assessor process, or is that nomination category more for tracking how many sessionals are awarded? A bit of both. We do track how many sessionals are awarded, though we don't do, I think, do we report on that in our interview report? I think we do. And I can't remember, Luana, you're probably best here with the sessionals. We put them in the discipline that they specify, because they have to specify which discipline. So they get assessed in that discipline, but as a sessional. Okay, do universities need to inform AAUT team of the potential nominees, nominate the nominees before the nominees submit their applications?
No, we don't need to know, because it's a one-step process now. In previous years, it was 2 steps where you had to register your nominees and then you'd submit. Now it's all in the one where it's a registration process by submitting your nomination form on behalf of your nominee. So there is no need to let us know.
Right, the next question was, in the past, citations couldn't have additional materials. Has this changed? No, I don't believe it has changed. The only place where you have additional materials is in the teaching awards or the program awards. The citations, you're not allowed to have additional materials. So no, that has not changed. Okay. Are they internal HASTI? So are they internal assessors or AAUT assessors at this stage? Sorry, HASTI, I might need a bit more context with that one. If you're still there.
The assessors are recruited from institutions around Australia, eligible institutions around Australia. So I guess they're external.
Yeah, they're external assessors. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, Hasti. I wasn't sure what. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. I was going to say your mic's able to be
yes,
unmuted
my
now,
mic was off. Yeah, sorry. I am here and thank you. It answered my question.
Great, excellent. Hi team, we might consider opening the assessor training session to all ICOs this year. Okay, so we open the assessor, we invite assessors, and then we select the assessors. We decide on, where, if we select which assessors will come on board. We don't just accept everybody, because we look at where are we getting nominations from, where do we need assessors, and then we invite all the people that have been selected to be assessors to do the assessor training. So it's not just open to anyone. So Michelle, I hope that's answered your question. Does the system allow for multiple nominations to be uploaded by an ICO in one batch, or do we have to upload one by one? Luana, that's for you. That's from Ants.
Yep. So that will be uploaded one by one, not multiple, because there are different elements per nomination. So it doesn't take very long. The part that takes the longest is the video. It takes a few minutes, depending on if it's a big file or not. So it's one by one.
One by one. So Ants, from what I can tell, Swinburne doesn't usually have a large number of applicants. So I think, hopefully you can get at least 3 or 5. I think that would be, if you can get that we would be very happy. Did I hear that the criteria subheadings do not have to be presented in order? So potentially, in order to ensure cohesion, could the nominee address criteria C and D and then A and B in that order in their narrative? Luana?
Yes, that should be fine, as long as it's clear that which criterion they're addressing. That's fine. It's no need to have it from A to D.
Will you still be able to make changes to the submitted application up until the due date?
Yes, you will. So you don't press submit, you would just say you just save it, and then you can log in and out as many times as you like before the closing date, and then submit.
And
Okay.
if you find that you've submitted, we can always revert it back if there's been,
Exactly.
some urgent update. So we can always help you do that.
Okay, and Joe, this is a comment from Joe McKenzie, who's a long-standing assessor. Gee, Joe, you've been around for as long as I have in the higher education sector. I find it really important to know if someone is a sessional because of the differences in their context, e.g. a sessional may not have the same scholarly opportunities as a continuing staff member. So it is really important. Thanks for highlighting that, Joe. And then Freya's got one more question. As ICOs are confirming disclosure statements on behalf of heads of schools and DVCA this year, is the best way to run this getting email confirmation from them before ticking these on their behalf? Luana, would you?
That can be a good way to do it, yeah, getting email confirmation, so you've got a written record of it, and then it would just be a case of ticking it in the awards portal. So, yeah.
I think as someone that's worked in awards and at the institutional level before, so we're changing the process a little bit this year. So previously they would have had to tick that PDF form. So perhaps one way, if you're sending it to your heads of school or DVCAs, it might just be worth sending a list of all of the nominees and say, this is who we're planning to nominate. Here's, do you agree to this privacy statement on behalf? And then it's just on behalf of all of them. So you can tick it on each of the nominations. That might work for you, but I know every institution might have their own processes for those internal approvals as well.
Beautiful. Okay, I think now we can go to, we've addressed all the questions that came in the chat, but I think now it might be good to go back to that slide where we hear from our ICOs. We've done a lot of talking. Let's hear a little bit from there. Joe, if you're still on, do you want to share some of your experiences as an ICO?
I've unmuted.
Thank you.
Oh gosh. Yes, I've been involved in teaching awards actually since National Teaching Awards were first established, which is
1997.
Which is an awfully long time. I can remember seeing Ange, watching that stage and Ange getting her
Oh my God.
teaching award, which was very exciting. I think what I've learned over time is that working with academics on teaching and learning awards is incredibly rewarding because you learn so much about fabulous teaching, but it also requires quite a bit of organisation. So what I've typically done, I've already got my potential applicants together, and the first thing I do is I get them to put in an expression of interest, which is usually their previous year or a couple of years ago internal teaching award, plus, because we use that as a pathway, plus a page of dot points of what other evidence have you got that you didn't put in the teaching award. So that, because that evidence is so important, trying to see who's got evidence and sufficient evidence at early stages is really important for me, because it takes a lot of effort for applicants to put in awards, as those who've been ICOs for a while will know. And honestly, you don't want to waste people's time if you can tell just from a series of dot points that they're just not going to have the evidence this year. They're going to have to do some more work to get it next year. So that's the first process I use. And then we do provide one-to-one support, often multiple rounds of drafts. We try to encourage peer support among people who've got awards already and get them to give feedback. And I always say to people, get feedback from people who are not in your discipline, don't know your work very well, because that will be much closer. Your assessor might be, from your broad discipline group, but you might be from medical sciences and the assessor might be from biology, and actually, they know some of your context. So there's some of the things I say to people without taking up an enormous amount of time. As an assessor, people who think about early career and sessionals, to me, it's really important to take the person's context into account, including, are they early career? Are they sessional? What discipline are they from? Are they from an industry background? Are they somebody who's come through a PhD? What kind of area do they work in? Because that looks at the opportunities that they may have had and the kind of evidence they might be able to produce. So that's all, unless anybody's got any questions. There are probably other experienced ICOs on the list.
Thank you, Joe. It's good to hear from someone who's been in the business for some time. So you've got it obviously down pack. You already know who your potential nominees might be based on your internal processes, and the support that UTS provides their staff is fantastic. So that's really, really, really appreciative of you sharing that process. I wonder if you could.
It's still not easy.
I know.
It's still not easy, and academics are just like students when it comes to timelines and extensions.
Yeah. I wonder if we can hear from someone that's quite new in the area. Maybe Ants, are you there from Swinburne? Because I think you're just new in this space. Maybe what are some of the concerns you might have? Good to see you, Ants. Really great to see you.
Hi, Angela, everyone. Well, I'm lucky that I've been running school teaching awards for a while, and we were shamelessly plagiarised the AAUT's approach. So mainly in order to make sure that our school teaching awards hopefully result in applications that can be improved with evidence for the citations, etc. So yeah, for me, it's just learning about the administrative side of things. I haven't been an assessor, so I haven't really seen many AAUT awards apart from those that have been successful. And so yeah, so I'm learning and look forward to having a play with the portal before I get to the pointy end when people's citations and awards are on the line, and I better not muck it up. But yeah, so I guess I'll be paying particular attention to that session. Was it August time roughly when we'll have the SurveyMonkey portal approach?
Beautiful, thank you. Hasty, how about yourself? Let's hear from the Deakin perspective. So we've got UTS, we've got Swinburne. Let's hear the Deakin perspective. You're fairly new in this role?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I am very new in acting as an ICO, but when I was at lab, I was involved just in sitting with academics on a one-on-one basis to just see their eligibility, then discuss their evidence, and whether they had experience over sustained period of years. So this year, what we have done so far is we have got a list of potential nominees that we have just from different sources, and we have been communicating with them. They would be attending the information session on Monday, so this is very good to be here. So I would probably get some of the questions that have been asked here that hopefully I will have the answer for. And yeah, because it is my first time, I think I would be playing with the portal, making sure that I know how it works before just I show anything to them and talk about it. Yeah, looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to learning from academics as I go through the applications.
Excellent. Thanks, Hasty.
Thank you.
Few people speaking in the chat about their different EOI processes. So it sounds like there's quite a few ICOs that have aligned theirs with the kind of AAUT framework of having a similar process, and then providing that one-to-one support and peer support for their nominees. So yeah, we recognise it's a lot of work for you ICOs, and a lot of effort and time goes into supporting these nominees. So thank you for all that you do and will do over the coming months as well. I know it adds a lot to the nominees' prospects of being successful.
Yeah, but I do have to say that these awards can be quite life-changing for the applicants and the recipients. And even if they're not successful the first time, they get great feedback so that it can revise their nomination for to apply for the following year. So I think there's a lot of value, and it's really helpful to reflect on your teaching practice and what's working, and also drawing on the scholarly literature to just improve your own practice and build on what's already out there. Freya, you mentioned that you have an EOI process similar to Joe's and Sarah's. Do you just want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a similar process. I think it's probably most similar to Sarah's, where we have an internal panel from all across our faculties who review the EOIs, and then they review them at the drafting stage as well. So they have time to incorporate feedback. So I think the EOI is like a page, and then they go on to do a draft. And I think similar to some of the other comments, we lose a few nominees during that process due to time constraints or life factors.
But at least you've got a process, which is great. Yeah, no, that's good. there any other comments that anyone would like to make or share or questions before we wrap the session up?
Just a recap of the timeline. So from May to July, we'll be preparing nominations. Well, ICOs will be preparing nominations with their nominees, and we'll be on standby to assist with any questions. And like I said, we'll be doing PD sessions and a how-to video and a PD session with the awards portal as well. From the 12th of August to the 1st of September is when the awards portal will be open for every ICO to submit nominations on behalf of their institution. October to December is the 3-stage assessment process. And then February 2025, Universities Australia will announce all the award outcomes online, and there will be a ceremony for the top 3 award recipients, which includes the Australian University Teacher of the Year, the Neville Bonner Award recipient, and the Career Achievement Award recipient as well. So those 3 recipients are invited to the in-person ceremony. And then later in 2025, there'll be the state-based ceremonies as well. I also wanted to mention I think it's in October, the Career Achievement Awards, October to November, Career Achievement Award nominations begin then, but we will be sending reminders about that closer to the date. And it's a simple process of filling out a form online, and that's a nomination on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor. If you'd like to connect with us, you can always email us, call us, but there's also a wealth of platforms that you can connect with us, including the UA webpage, the AAUT network website as well. We've got Twitter, or X, I should say, with AAUT and Angela and Universities Australia, and LinkedIn. So feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great Tuesday afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.